prices in Frisco and Prosper, Texas, leaving you feeling like you're being priced out of the market? You are not alone. I work with families all the time who are wondering if Celina is the last affordable frontier in North Dallas. But is it really a smart move or a trap no one's warning you about? In this video, I'm answering some of the biggest questions I hear about Celina, and I am breaking down for you exactly what is happening in the Celina real estate market, the good, the bad, and the downright risky, including what no one tells you about taxes, commuting, resale problems, and what real life looks like living here in the fastest growing city in all of America. And if you aren't sold on Celina, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you where you may find better options elsewhere. And we're going to get started right now. Emily Herenda, Dallas area realtor, and my husband Tim and I have been helping people just like you buy and sell real estate here in the Dallas area since 2015. So feel free to subscribe to our channel and give us a call, text, or email if you'd like us to help you find a home that suits you here in the Dallas area. Let's start with what is probably the biggest question on your mind. Is Celina truly more affordable? In 2025, Prosper homes are averaging a staggering sales price of $987,000, and Frisco homes are averaging close to $825,000. But check out how home prices in Celina as a whole have looked during this same period. There are much more budget-friendly options available, with a large selection of homes available in the 400s to 800s, even a few in the 300,000s, and your money goes quite a bit further with a lower cost per square foot here in Celina. But one thing you really need to watch out for is whether the community that you're looking in has a MUD or a PID tax. The majority of your new construction communities do have this extra tax. Your base rate here in Celina is somewhere in the 2.04% up to 2.08% range, but adding a MUD or a PID is going to increase this amount. So when you compare a home with no MUD or PID tax to a less expensive home that does have one of these taxes, the cheaper home may end up costing you more per month than the home with a higher sales price. The other thing most people don't initially calculate into a home's affordability is the cost it will take to commute to your job if you don't work from home. Commuting to Dallas from Celina is expensive, not just in gas, but also the tolls associated with traveling on the Dallas North Tollway. Check out this toll calculator I've linked below to see how much it will cost you to travel to your job if you take the toll roads, which honestly is the most efficient way to get to places like Frisco, Plano, and Dallas. Right now, a trip from Celina to downtown Dallas will cost you $7.73 one way once you acquire your toll tag. Without your toll tag, this would cost $15.46. So, commuting 5 days a week to downtown Dallas could cost you upwards of $300 a month just in tolls. Now, if you just need to go to Frisco, the one-way cost with the toll tag is only $2.39. Now, if you're a savvy home buyer, and because you found this video, I know you are, your next question should be something like this. What do I really need to know about the rapid growth in Celina? Is this a good or a bad thing? That is such a great question. I'm glad you asked, because it hits at one of the biggest traps buyers can fall into, thinking that buying into an up-and-coming area is always a good idea and that the appreciation is guaranteed. Let me zoom out a bit and explain this. This area up here, Frisco, Prosper, Celina, becoming super popular because of the developments happening right now in North Frisco, like the Fields Project, the PGA District, and the Universal Theme Park. So with all the projected growth for Frisco over the coming years, there's going to be a demand in this area for a long time. Okay, that's the somewhat obvious part, but there are a lot of layers underneath this that you need to consider. For starters, what kind of things accompany massive population growth? Construction, and lots of it. You're going to need to get used to living in an area where highway expansion, new roads, getting stuck in traffic behind a dump truck, and construction noise are the norm. So if you're wanting to live somewhere that's already established, where all the retail, dining, grocery stores, schools are like a well-oiled machine, then Celina is not for you. And there's also some uncertainty that can come with this. Maybe there's an empty lot behind your community. Is it gonna stay an empty lot or turn into a Walmart in a few years? These are all things you need to think about before deciding to move here. You also need to consider if moving to Celina is a long-term or short-term move for you. This is where buyers can really get into a trap. Oh, they think this is an up-and-coming area, the demand is always gonna be there, so it'll just be easy to sell my starter home in a few years. Think again. Buyers love new construction. And if there's still new construction available in your community when it's time to sell, you're gonna need to be priced well under the new construction prices in order to compete with builders. And depending on interest rate incentives that the builders are offering, you may need to concede thousands of dollars towards the buyer's interest rate buy down so that you stay competitive with the builders. If your plan is to come to Celina, build a home here, and live here for the foreseeable future, plant some roots, grow with the community, then yes, Celina can be a great option. But if this home is just a 2 to 3 year pit stop on your way to finding your dream home, then building in Celina can be one of the biggest long-term mistakes that you make. Next, where are the best places to live in Celina, and where should you avoid? There are new construction opportunities all over Celina. You can drive down Dallas Parkway here in Celina, and every couple miles, you're seeing signs for all these new communities, for all these home builders, and it can honestly feel a little bit overwhelming trying to figure out which of these communities is the right fit. The biggest factors I tell people to consider when choosing a community, not necessarily in this order, are 1. Convenience of location, 2. Area developments, 3. Affordability, 4. The quality of the homes, 5. The amenities found in the community, and 6. Schools, of course. For convenience of location, you'll notice that some of the more highly sought after communities, in other words, the pricier communities, tend to be those in South Celina and those that are closest to highways. This gives you a shorter commute time, is closer to your more developed suburbs, and also plays into your school zoning, as many of these communities are zoned to the more highly rated Prosper ISD. So we'll get to that in just a second. Now, part of the problem for a long time in Celina was the lack of infrastructure here. So if you were too far north, you were a long way out from your typical city amenities. As the city is growing, this is becoming less and less of a problem, but that's still something to take into consideration, especially if you are someone that values being right around the corner from your nearest grocery store. My top 2 neighborhoods for luxury new construction homes right now are Mosaic and Mustang Lakes. These are some of your best quality homes in Celina. We put out videos about these communities that you can check out. Mosaic is zoned to Prosper ISD, while Mustang Lakes has some that are zoned to Prosper and some that are zoned to Celina. These have great amenities either already built out or nearing completion. They also are very close to your more developed parts of Prosper. For homes that are priced a little bit more affordably, I'd also recommend you check out Light Farms, which sits just off the Dallas North Tollway, Cross Creek Meadows, and the parks at Wilson Creek. The parks has some top tier builders as well and sits just a few minutes north of Mustang Lakes. We've made videos on all of these that I will link below. Now here's a little warning about some of these communities that are early on in development. These are beautiful communities, they're more affordable, the homes are pretty, and there are lots of homes being built. So if you're planning on selling this home in 5 years or less, do not buy here. They are going to be building here for a long time, and it could end up killing your equity if you have to slash your price to compete with the builder. The other thing to know once you get into this part of Celina is that you'll be in Celina ISD. Now, is that a good or a bad thing? Well, Celina is an A-rated school district. And with the growth here, there's a lot of people saying that Celina will catch up to where Prosper is right now. So in the long run, I can't imagine people are going to regret buying in Celina ISD rather than Prosper ISD. But for right now, Prosper is the more highly rated district. Alright, so what are some alternatives to Celina? Maybe you're not 100% sold on living in Celina. I get it, this is definitely not the place for everyone. If you're wanting a starter home somewhere you can live for a few years while your equity grows, then you might consider what you can get for under $500,000 with the pre-owned home in places like Frisco or McKinney. Not all of Frisco is going to be $1 million luxury mansions. There are some neighborhoods where you can find a home that's 10 to 20 years old in a great location. Is it brand new? Is it going to look like your Pinterest board? No, but you're not going to be competing with builders when it's time to sell. And there's always going to be people looking for an affordable 3-bed, 2-bath starter home in high-demand areas like this, especially where there are no more new homes being built out. If you're wanting new or newer construction, then you can go east to Aubrey and find some affordable options there as well. Aubrey is also growing very quickly, and there are plenty of new construction options in that city as well. The downside compared to Celina, Aubrey schools are currently B-rated, and the frustration of having to drive longer distances on US 380 to commute can be challenging. Melissa, Texas, just north of McKinney, is also a great spot for new construction in the 4s to 8s. You can check out this video we made about Melissa. You do have a few new construction opportunities still left up in McKinney. I really like McKinney. This is a huge suburb of over 200,000 people, and your prices are generally more favorable than Prosper and Frisco. All right. So if you would like help determining which communities in Celina may be a good fit for you, or talk about what other areas would suit your needs even better, give me a call, text, or email. We'll see you next time.